Hello developers, welcome back to .NET Raman. Many beginners install React, write some code, and suddenly blank screen, red errors, JSX confusion, right? So today I will explain React fundamentals, JSX, components, props, state with clear theory and step-by-step Visual Studio Code hands-on practice. After this video, React will not feel scary anymore. Okay, so try to understand very clearly, listen carefully with your mind. First, what is React? So this thing we already discussed in our previous video, but again I'm explaining you for you guys. Okay, React is a JavaScript library used to build user interfaces. JavaScript library used to build user interfaces. It focus only on UI layer. Okay. So then why React? Before React, how it was is developers manually updated HTML. Code became messy. Performance was slow. Right? Now React solve this by reusable components, virtual DOM, fast updates, clean and structured code, easy to manage large applications. That's why companies like Meta, Netflix, Airnab and use React. Okay. Then how React works? UI is divided into components. First, React will divide this into components. React creates a virtual DOM. Virtual DOM is very powerful in the React. Okay. When data changes, React compares old and new UI. Old and new UI. Updates only required parts. Okay. Faster and smarter rendering. Okay. Understand? Now we will see React fundamentals, core ideas. So first we will see component based architecture. Component based architecture. Everything in React is a component. I already said. Component in the sense header, button, card, footer. Each component has its own logic. Can be reused. Makes code clean. Okay. Next, one-way data flow. Very important, one-way data flow. Data flows parent to child. Data flows, how it will go? Parent to child. Child cannot change parent directly. Okay, this makes the apps predictable and debuggable. Okay, next we will see what is JSX. JSX means JavaScript XML. JavaScript XML. It allows writing HTML like code inside JavaScript. What it will allow? HTML like code inside JavaScript. Okay. Example you can see on the screen H1 hello React H1. Okay. Why JSX? So without JSX, how we need to write is you can see that React create element h1 null hello. So how difficult it is writing. With JSX, how we can write h1 hello h1. Okay. So by this, it is easier, readable, developer friendly. Okay. JSX rules are very important. Listen carefully. Must return one parent element. Must return one parent element. Use class name instead of class. Use what? Class name instead of class. Okay. JavaScript goes inside these brackets. Okay. So you can see on the screen. Wrong how developers write H1 hello P world. It's a not correct way. You have to write inside HTML, right? Div H1 P1. Okay. This is the correct way. Okay. Next we will see components in React. Okay. What is a component? Is a component is a function that returns JSX. any component if it is written JSX, okay, so that is a function. Okay, types of components we will see. First, functional component. What is that? Functional component. It is very important. You can see on the screen how it is. So function header written h1 header. So it is simple modern use hooks. Use hooks, right? So without a component, if you create a class, right, how it will be is class header extends react dot components render react h1. So how it is worst it is, right? So rarely used now. This is not using by anyone. Okay. Now we will see props versus state. First we will see props. What and why we'll see. Props are data passed from parent to child. So data pass from where? Parent to child. Read only it is. Cannot be changed by child. Okay, remember that. Example, you can see header title equal to React Basics. React Basics. This is props. Okay. State. State is data managed inside a component. Data managed what? Where? Inside a component. So can change controls UI behavior. Okay, it is. So you can see example const, okay, count, set count, use state. So this is example. Okay. Now what we will do is we will open Visual Studio Code. Okay, we will see step by step by practicing this. Okay, let's go for the Visual Studio Code. So guys, like previous session, we practiced this, right? How we created the React and all. I briefly explain again. First, we need to install, if you want to practice in the Visual Studio Code, you need to install Visual Studio Code as well as Node.js. Node.js. Once it is installed, you need to check whether the correct version of Node versus NPM. So you can see on the screen, how can you test Node and npm. Okay, so react we already created, or else if you want to newly seeing this video, so in the screen you have to, you can see how we can open Visual Studio Code through the terminal. Okay, there is a terminal window, right? This is the terminal. So if you open new terminal, this the terminal window. By here you can create npx create react app react something. Okay, after that if you want to start that application, npm start. Okay. Now that folder structure also I already explained. App.js. So let me show that. So this is the app.js. So it is the main component, and index.js is the, sorry, index.js is the, so entry point. So components folder, whatever it is there, right? You can create a system components. Anything if you create one folder, right? In that you can create a system components. Okay, that you always remember that. Okay, now what we will do is in app.js I already have some code. I am removing, this is my existing practice, right? So open this. Okay, so just let's see that. Okay, I did like this. So function app, see it is very clear component. Okay, h1 is that react fundamental. Okay, now I am going to create a components folder, okay, in header dot. So how to create? Right click on src. Okay, so here file, here folder. Okay, folder. So here we can give components. Okay, again here you click file. So file name what we can give is header.js. Header.js. So let me add a file. 1 minute. Header.js. Okay, JS file it is added. Simple. You are able to see, right? I have already code here. I'm pasting for you guys. So header here I'm taking. Okay, sorry. So save this. So function header return h1 header components h2 header this one. Okay. So I created one component. Next we can create. So we can import that, right? We have to import that in the header. How to import? So app.js is the main, right? So before this, you have to write, okay, import header from components header. Import header from components header. So now we need to update that header, right? So for this, so currently what it is there, only React fundamental. Now what I'm going to do is, so header, okay, header I'm writing. So export to default. So it is always whatever function is there, right? That should be export that. Okay. Now header.js, if you want like practice on props, how we can do is props. Okay. So what we can do is one more function you can write like this. Okay. Sorry. So this is one. Or if you want whatever it is there, right? Same function you can do that. So welcome this one. Okay. I'm just telling the example for you guys. Okay. So now counter.js we will add for state. One more JS file we can add components. The how many like just I'm telling you guys. See, okay, new file counter.js. Just I'm adding that. Okay, I am showing to you guys how we can use this. How we can use this. Okay, see like this. So use state. So from React, okay, function counter, set counter, use state, okay, return. We need to return this, right? Export default counter, whatever it is there. Okay, export default counter. So this one we need to take from in app.js, right? So go to app.js. You need to after this import this also. Okay, import this like this. So after that counter. Okay, just simple. Okay, give that. Okay, count. Okay, now you always observe that JSX error test important for interviews is, so you always how you are writing the your code is very important, very important. Okay, so like this you need to write any code. See components for counter is separate we created, header is separate we created, app.css, app.js, everything whatever you want you can create separate. Okay, those things it should import in the, so app.js it should be import that. That is the very important. You guys always remember that. So our coming video what we are going to use, why we wrote it this, what is this, how we set it. Oh, suppose if I want to write multiple things, how we can write everything we will discuss code. Today we just added those things and all. After that, if you want, you can run it here. Okay, in the through terminal. So this is what we learned today. So what we will summarize this. What is the React? Why React is used? How React works? JSX rules, components, props and state, VS Code, hands-on practice. If you understand this, you are already above beginner levels. Okay. Next video, I am going to tell all it, how we need to write, why, how we need to write each thing. Code explanation will be okay. Thank you, friends. Thank you all.